Hello. Well, I wanted to tell you a little story. I'm wondering where your passions lay. I'll tell you about mine. I got a couple of passions. Actually, I got three. But those dogs raising hell out on the porch. That's what I got. Uh, Ever since I was young, I always fancied myself an artist. Now I know I haven't earned the right probably to be called an artist. I'm still thriving at that. I don't know if I got the right to call myself a blues man. I figure I have after all the shit I've been through. But where it comes from is when I was young, all the way back to when I was 8 years old. And that's where my passion goes, all the way back to the blues. When I was a kid, my grandmother, when I was a child, my grandmother owned the very first beauty salon in Johnson City, Tennessee, up in these mountains. And kind of the same way that they kind of coincide the same way. My grandmother, when she became a beauty operator, she was kicked out of the Church of God. Because you didn't do that back then. They grew their hair out and kept it up in a bun, and they didn't cut their hair back then. And so when she became a beauty operator in the late 40s, they kicked her out. And she went on and became a beauty operator and worked at My Lady Beauty Shop for the next 50, 60 years. Ended up owning it. After the lady that owned it died, she left it to my grandmother. My grandmother ran it another 30 years, 40 years. And so my mother would go to the beauty shop a couple times a week. Usually on Saturday she'd go and stay all day, and I would have to go with my mother to take care of my mother, and that's another story, how my life kind of went a different direction than out playing like other kids do. I was kind of forced to grow up at 8 years old, which I was glad to do. It was my mother. But we would go to that beauty shop, and I wasn't going to sit in that beauty shop all day. So I would venture out into town at my age, And I can still walk around that town today and all the memories. Old dude up there, blind guy with pencils in his hand. You'd put a dime in his cup, he wouldn't give you the pencil. I said, Mama, you won't give me the pencil. She said, you got all kinds of pencils at home. Put another dime in there. But she would go to the beauty shop and stay all day, and I would go out and venture around. Well, I finally went around the corner and down the street and found these old guys that was down there along the street corner every day, and they'd gather down there and pitch pennies. I don't know if you've heard of pitching pennies. If you haven't, get somebody that knows to explain it to you, because I'm going to go on with my story. So I would go down there. My grandmother would give me about 20 pennies out of the register, and most of the time I'd bring her my winnings and give her back her pennies, and I would have won 10 cents or 15 cents. And these were all World War I and World War II cats. And they tell you learning, and they tell you some things. Even as a child, I learned a lot. But there was a black man that used to come down there and sit in that old chair. And that old chair sat there for years, and even when nobody was sitting in it, it'd sit there. You'd pass by in the rain, that old chair would be sitting there, and that was his chair. He come and sat in every day, and he would play the blues on an old Stellar guitar. And he would play the blues, and he'd tune up and down, slide, and do all kinds of stuff. And I was amazed by it. And I asked him once, "Would you teach me that?" And he said, "No, you can't learn this." And he said, "No, you can't learn that. You got to live this. You can't learn it till you live it. You can learn the runs and the chords, but you ain't gonna play it till you get older. And I ain't teaching it to you anyway. And you never be as good as me." And he's right. He's right. I'll never be as good as him. And so I guess that's kind of my Curtis Lowe sort of, I guess. I don't know. But, and I used to talk to him, and I listened to him play, and that's where my love of the blues came. And he was right. I learned licks over the years, but I never could really put them together and make them sound like it's supposed to sound. I'm not sure if I'm doing it today. I think I am. but I know I sure as hell lived it now. Now I can play it, because God knows I've lived it. But that's my passion, is the blues. And it goes all the way back and started when I was 8 years old. And then, yeah, there was a period where, I went into rock and roll, and through my 20s we all got into Seattle rock and all the grunge stuff. I got into all that stuff as the years went by, and went back into country and outlaw country like my father had sang and taught me through the years in the house, and through rock and roll and everything. And so when I started playing again, decided I was going to try to make this work. I started playing some country songs I knew some rock songs, but they're kind of hard to play by yourself. So, and just ain't falling for me no more. I sing them and I just don't feel them anymore, and I don't think they sound right because it's just not what I want to do. So I'm going to follow my passion, and I'm at the point now where it's my passion is to make things work, and for me and mine, for my kids, because that's what I'm doing for my children, so they don't have to work no more and do whatever they have to do, what they're doing now, no matter what, they're still my kids. And so that's why I'm trying to do what I'm trying to do, is for my children, and for me to be happy. And so whatever your passion is, don't give up on it. You may have to delay it. I laid mine down for years, man. Years trying to be a working man. Nothing ever panned out. And I was meant to do one thing, and now I'm doing it. But it wasn't meant for it to happen back then. It was meant for it to happen now. So don't give up on your passions. Keep them going. Walk the walk, talk the talk. Don't give up. Don't ever give up. I never give up till they put me in the ground. Never give up. Never.